Welcome. Welcome, full moon, lunar eclipse blessings. I thought I'd put on a song of gratitude to the earth, which is downloadable and available from Tom Kenyon's website. As we all gather and get together. Yay. Welcome. Letting yourself make sure you have water. You're welcome to light candle if you are so guided to, and even to have journal or pen and paper ready to jot down certain things that create deep expansion within the body, currents of energy moving through. Hi, how have you been? Welcome. So we start to gather. I'm just gonna pull an initial card. They're usually theme cards from one of my favorite decks, the Cheryl Lee Harnish, Return of Spirit. Hello, Sarina. And if you are new to my channel, I'm Josie. I work with energy, I work with spirit, and I am so honored to connect on this potent blood moon lunar eclipse. Ooh! And as soon as I shared that, two just jumped out. All right. Letting yourself just find your ground and connect to your body with your breath. Directing the exhale towards the earth. And even acknowledging what areas within your body certain things may surface, and know not to get caught up in what is surfacing today, for it is a full moon. What is surfacing can release with breath, with pee, with water, with the assistance of the rhythms. Welcome all that are aspects of you. Welcome your ancestors that love you the most, that run within your blood. Your stories that are etched into your bones. Welcome your spirit guides. And may, as we sit together, may we link our hearts to the earth. May we connect through the ethers. In truth. The greater good of all paths and all who choose to listen. First two cards that jumped out for this evening are quite telling. And there's a bit of a story with this card. Because whenever I receive this card, it means we are connecting to something today. We are connecting to spirit. We are initiating contact. And what it is sharing with me why it jumped out as a collective card for this Oracle session is almost a reminder that as the energies amplify tonight, and specifically, yes, around full moon, but that there is an amping up occurring from full moon forwards. And in that amping up of more capacity and possibility to connect your body to the earth, to link your hearts to the web of the earth's energy, that you also, it is not just me connecting, very, very clearly it is that there will be more possibility to connect to your guides, to connect to spirit, to connect to ancestors. They're very talkative right now. And it's neat. As I draw this image farther away, I'm also getting that almost like a blossoming of a flower that this year, specifically 2021, was a very slow amping, right? We thought with the equinox that it was going to go like that, right? Because such growth, such intensity of connection. But as we have witnessed, even in spring, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, is the slow movement that spring and the end of winter brings. And so I'm also receiving from this card, like, get ready to flower, get ready to expand. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? That's kind of like the intensity of that sensation. And if that question brings up some uncertainty, some fear, some discomfort of going, oh my gosh, I always hear like, am I aligned enough, or am I healed enough, or have I grown enough, or am I me enough? Do I know who I am enough? All of those like questions that come up within the mind when you get a kind of big like boost of energy that is showing up today and moving forwards. Hence the other card that popped out of the deck. Innocence. Tap into the aspect of you that trusts it is ready. There is an aspect of you that has been clearing and working and walking the path. There is a voice in you that is sharing, yes, but it still may be a little gentle whisper. And some of the, oh my gosh, that might are a little bit louder in the head. So, when you sit outside right now and listen to the gentle wind through the flowering trees. That's the visual I'm getting to kind of assist you on how this card is trying to explain the connection to self right now. Even you can see the wind moving through the trees. It's not like blowing the trees over. It's not a loud and gustoic type of wind right now, specifically even where I am in Canada. It's that just like gentle whisper. And so, but it does such beautiful things. It rustles and assists and coaxes the blossoms on the trees and the leaves to open and to get stronger and more resilient, right? If you see those little kind of like baby leaves that first come out on a tree, and they're a little wrinkled, right? And a little like crinkly and look like they're like, I've just come out from the flower. And so the wind, the gentleness of the wind kind of coaxes it and reminds it that it needs to get just a little more resilient, just a little more stronger. And so I'm receiving that from this card for the journey forwards into from full moon to new moon in the next cycle, is that this is the time to listen to those whispers, to listen to the gentler voice within, and to let that gentle voice, that connection to your most truthful and innocent self, the connection to your heart, the connection to spirit, to assist you in these next days, weeks, moving forwards into this deep possible time of growth and immense blessing, so that you can gently move from being that like little weak, crinkly new leaf to this stronger and more resilient and more robust aspect of you. Know that you're welcome to share questions. If anything comes up in your heart, in your mind about something that I share, I will be taking peeks at the chat. But as you can tell from the headscarf, spirit is strong today. This full moon, many other channelers also have recommended this. And from just sensing the energies today, it will be, I don't know, this is going to like probably date me. You'll get to know some of my wondrous, fantastical past. But if any of you have ever done mushrooms before, sacred mushrooms, and you know kind of that sensation that occurs with that plant medicine is to feel like you are immensely connected to the energetic matrix. An energetic matrix, kind of like that spider web of energy that carries all timelines and all aspects of all that is. And so you kind of sometimes first connect to that and then feel less separation between you and all that is, kind of like your body is breathing larger and expanding towards that deep intrinsic trust that you are connected to nature, to all that is. And so that is what I sensed within the energies today of the full moon. And so that's what's rippling through just from how the moon, the earth, and the sun are aligned today, and of course moving in tomorrow and the next couple days. So honor that if that type of connection is bringing up any within, to just be really extra gentle with self, to allow almost like what they did with when I worked with plant medicine practitioners with sacred mushrooms, is that they were, that you always had a safe place. You always had a couple spaces that you knew that you could go to and feel safer. And that's almost what I'm guided to share for all of you with it who are listening and tuning in to this message, to ensure that where you place your body in these days can be close to nature, or in the comfort of your home that you feel safe in. This is a good time for you to clear your home. If you haven't done so recently, a good dust out all the things, clear out the closets if needed, and, get ready for the new, like literally from the physical things in your home to also your body. And so there's something, as you clean and clear and protect body, that of course your home is an extension of body and the energy that will support it in its growth, right? So because if we're expanding, if we're blossoming and receiving more and blessings, abundance, goodness, all of this guidance, then to think that you need to expand your safety, almost like your safety net. So to do the same type of clearing and protection and energy work that you do for yourself into the home and even outside of the home, like feel that you have a larger bubble so that you can grow. Welcome, Raquel. Oh, Spiderweb has come and visited. Yes. There's a large spider and web outside of your window. And last night you got to witness a spider eat her prey whole, up close and personal. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. How do you break a karmic loop? Be like the spider. Eat what is caught in your web and use it to spin a new one. Thank you for that powerful message and sharing that here, Raquel. I love sitting with other intuitives. That's the thing. We all have the capacity to share. So this is an open conversation. And yes, I'm getting this, the eating what is caught in your web, right? We sometimes see like the consumption or the digestion or like the actual from a hunter prey type of thing as like, oh, woe is the prey, and ooh, scary for the hunter. But there's something, we are feelers and ingesters, right? And think of what I'm receiving from that as well, is to pay attention to what you are ingesting, right? Will it, you said, eat what is caught in your web and use it to spin a new one. So it's like what we are ingesting as we digest it, right? That will assist us in getting that stronger leaf, right? Like that stronger and more resilient and deeper intrinsic trust in who we are, in our power, in our capacity to move through a more abundant time. And so in that, pay attention actually to what you ingest. Pay attention to what you ingest. And that, sometimes people will take that literally, like going, oh, and if you do, know that that might be a body message for you, that your body might be going, hey, I don't want to eat this anymore right now, or I want a little break from this. And that's okay too, right? Like, so listen to your body if it does say certain things about literal ingesting and consuming food. But think of that, we are consumers, so we consume much more than food. And so to be wary is the word that's coming, W-A-R-Y, of what you are consuming, because there is so much out there for us to digest, so much information, so many different things. And to if something doesn't like sit right, you'd know that if you're allergic to a type of food, you wouldn't eat it. But if you ate a certain food and you started to feel like an upset tummy, you go, you know what? This isn't for me. I'm not going to eat it right now. My body's telling me it can't digest it. But it's a little bit harder to have that sensory connection to other things that we ingest, like this, right? Literally things on YouTube, things on Instagram, Facebook, the newspapers, media, television. There's books, of course. Does anyone still read books? There's so much ways to access information and data for us to consume right now. So to also, in being like the spider, yes, if we're connecting further and more intrinsically to the web of creation, to the web of our earth and of all that is us, right? You know, as we have access to more knowing, it's not about then going around like a little Pac-Man and just ingesting it all, because that may not assist you in spinning in your creation, spinning a new one, Raquel, and getting very much so of what you choose to create, of what will not only serve you, but of course serve the greater good of all. So in that, some good messages popping through already today. Yeah, so be wary of what you ingest. And if you get an upset stomach or, you know, certain little like about something that you're reading or listening to, turn it off. Take some breaths. Thank your body for sharing with you what may not be the best thing for you to consume. I was guided to pull out a bunch of different cards today. Ooh, I just got a big affirmation from that, from the Earth Mother. So I think that needs to be said again. Be wary of what you ingest and consume, and know that what you consume is what then you will digest and what will become a part of you, so that then you can make your own weft, you know, co-create your own weave, bring through further blessings for this earth, as well as, of course, for you. These cards that I was guided to draw are, what are they even called? I'm trying to think. I'll have to take a look and maybe I'll list it. But I don't even remember. They're completely out. But ooh, Serena, you might remember them. We did these in a reading. Alexis, welcome. Started to do more lists of certain patterns, feelings, and experiences, and writing out what it feels like and what I can do to feel more comfortable in each example or feeling space. Beautiful. Yes. Yes. That's those lists of like discovering the patterns, the feelings that come in different spaces and in different experiences. That is the gift of consciousness. That is the gift of us honing this, you know, through our spiritual journey, a greater awareness. Right? Is so that we can bring that awareness to shift patterns and to allow ourselves to grow on our own terms. Terms that feel right for your body, feel right for your story, right? And feel right for what those patterns, timelines, histories, lineages, all this stuff that we carry within our body are sharing with us. So that sounds like an incredible practice. And thank you for bringing it into circle. I'm sure some people will be also inspired by that. So from the nameless deck, because I'm feeling way too much spirit right now to even remember the name of this deck. If you remember it, you're welcome to share. Look at what comes. And it's neat because even from this, I was receiving like, it's going to be a time for abundance and blessings. Like that was what came through. Just remembering that very, very clearly. Passion and pleasure. Savor your life. Savor it. And how neat, savor, like savory food. We're still kind of like on this ingestion and consumption type of thread. Is that what type of life do you wish for? Is what I'm getting from that. Do you want it to be sweet? Do you want it to be spicy? Do you want it to be fresh? Do you want it to be cool, hot, right? It's like the beauty of the rasas, the different tastes, is that, and the one thing I remember that's even coming up from my studies within yoga and yoga philosophies was that the actual tastes and flavors of things were very much linked also to emotion. And so you know, even just like take a little, like, what type of food are you craving now? Or what type of, what adjectives come when you think of your life at this moment? And if it feels like you say it's bitter right now, right? And you're like, I want sweet. Then what would this greater awareness, what would all this greater knowing ask of you to move from a bitter flavor to a sweet flavor? And that's the work that was mentioned even in the New Moon Oracle in a different way last 2 weeks ago, was, kind of like looking at the both, like the shadow and the light. Because if you're like, my life is bitter now, or I don't know what my passion is, or I don't feel happy, or I don't feel pleasure, sometimes those voices and sometimes those patterns can be much louder than the gentle whisper that is there within, that is letting you know, I am, there is sweetness in the now. There is something to celebrate in the now. And so, okay. There's also some information coming in from actually, like, they are dancing literally under the moon. There's something in this card that is actually also coming very relevant to, like, today, tomorrow, to sometimes when we step into a full moon, you might feel that you are supposed to look at the shadow. You're supposed to look at those things that I shared of, like, my life feels bitter now, or I don't feel safe as I wish to be, or I don't feel as protected, or I feel confused, and then you look at those things, you look at the shadow, and you're like, okay, this is what I'm ready to release, full moon. Help me release it. And I've shared this a couple times, that I find the energy of release is what is the easy thing on a full moon. The receptivity of what you're willing to receive can be more challenging. And so to flip the coin and to go with your breath, with the movement, with what you do this evening, be it a simple meditation, be it a bubble bath, right? You will release. You will release what has surfaced. So to also look at the other, right? To not just look at what you're desiring to let go of or heal, because it will be supported, but to look at also, like, what would you wish to celebrate right now? What could bring you pleasure? True pleasure, not like being silly pleasure. Sometimes we get into kind of like silly child, like inner child of going like, I want this, and like kind of play out that. But like, you don't have to go to the silly. Just let yourself in the energy that is coming through today and the next few days, as you do the clearings and the fun stuff in your home, and feel more sensorily connected to all that is within your body. If you sing right now, what tone comes out? If you would want to dance, What type of music would you put on? And in that simple pleasure, in that simple, gentle movement of your body, see what arises, see what releases with the breath, and see what will surface to share with you, almost like to bubble up more of that truth. Spirit is sharing with me that on top of this kind of like choosing to dance, move, connect, howl if you wish to, you know, this can be done solitarily. This doesn't mean that it's literally like a party, like you need to call up all your friends right now, because of the intensity of the energies. This is a party between you and who you, as we shared, the contact of you, spirit, you, earth mother, you, your spiritual team, you, all of the energies that support you, of body, of the elements, of all that is. Don't you think that, you know, that connection deserves a party? You know, wouldn't they like to be invited, inviting your ancestors, inviting, you know, how much fun would that be? And how sensually, like, you know, would you move when you are accessing and connecting to all of those beings that are literally jumping around right now and supporting your journey? So I feel that this, the dance and the singing and the celebration, it might feel a little bit more solitary at first, but that we have entered a gateway, they're saying. And I want to get to a little bit more, sorry, because there's lots of spirits. We are literally on like this asking for you to savor and find the gratitude that you have right now, and to enjoy the sweetness and the spiciness if you want spicy, and the acidic if you want acidic, you know, like to enjoy and savor what is well within your life, your body, your being, and your surroundings at this moment in time. That is the practice now, because then they're sharing that like the energy of this time right now is a gateway, and that gateway, dependent on how you almost step towards it, will share with you what you want on the other side, because we always have free will. So if today was like, if you went and focused on all the intense shadows and stuff like that, and you're like, woe is me, I'm still healing, I suck, and all that shit shows up, you know, then you're literally walking towards this gateway of possibility, and shifting the outcome, shifting the immense possibility that right now is wanting to be shared with you. It was neat. There was a conversation I had even today with someone that there was like a lot of anger was surfacing up, and you know, anger sometimes can be shared like passion, right? You're like, I'm passionate, I'm intense about something, you know, instead of literally just looking at it as going, hey, this is anger that is surfacing. And the anger almost was like, oh, fuck the moon. Like, this energy is getting me all nuts and da 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 da. And what came through, even in speaking with that person, I was like, can you just like make peace with the moon? If wherever the anger is being directed, or whatever intensity, because passion, pleasure can also talk about intensity, fire, right? Like many spectrums of energy that come with fire. And so if that is bubbling up in some of you around this time, to see how you can make peace with like, or see where the frustration or the anger is being directed towards. Is it being directed towards you, towards another, towards the moon? And and to instead direct it to the earth, stomp your feet, get a dance on, sing loud, right? Let that energy release. And in the process, it almost will transmute maybe the intensity of that sensation, moving the rasas, emotions or energy in motion. It will change that intensity for you to tap into what's underneath, which is you connecting to your power, you connecting further towards soul, passion, purpose, all of that good stuff. And once you feel a bit more clear, that is when I'm getting, there's actually, they want you to do a doorway ceremony today. I love, this is what happens when I close my head. It's like I get very, very clear messages. Okay, I should do this more often. This doorway ceremony, so they're sharing, like, in your ceremonies tonight, or as you sweep and clean your home, or as you dance and do those type of emotional clearings, and honor what arises emotionally, and honor that they will shift as you move and as you stomp and as you sing. Sing can turn to cry. Is to literally just like find a doorway in your home, light a candle, and if you work with smoke, and the smoke could be, mugwort has been coming in a lot. I've never burned that before, but if you do have that, you're welcome to burn it. Lavender is also very protective. That's coming through. Or if you work with other sacred smokes that are according to your culture, then smoke the whole doorway, like even the bottom, the corners, and then within, like, so after you do the whole door frame, then they're saying to kind of like do a whole, almost like smoke the mirror type of thing, like feel like you're creating a portal by creating the smoke. Of course, the smoke will clear. You're not going to like burn down your home. If you use charcoal and like frankincense or tree resins, you could actually get that level of smoke that I'm seeing. And then once you have that, light candle, connect to your spirit team, and share a very clear intention. A very clear intention that I am listening to the soft voice within. I am listening to my truth. I will continue to listen to my guides and to my guidance team, that you are open and you are walking with them, and that I am ready now to receive and walk through the doorway with the candle. Okay, that came from this card. Thank you, Spirit, of bringing that little, and I'm getting that if you watch this and this is not necessarily exactly on the full moon, don't worry. You can do this because time, as we know, is not like exact. Gateways have a good, there's like a ripple effect. So you can do this to almost initiate what came through in the last Oracle session of a new start is coming. Like the start is now. And so for you to give a moment of like literally stepping through the threshold in the resonance, the vibration. I'm getting Raquel again with this, the web, almost that you are moving into creating a new web, and trusting at the point that you choose to do this ceremony and this gesture, really they're sharing it. It's like a gesture to share that you're ready to do it when you feel like what you have digested feels all feels okay, all feels good. So if you need to do a clearing or like a poop or any types of clearing of what has been digested in your body prior to, you're welcome to. There we go. So that's a fun little practice. And since there is all those smokes and plants that came in, now the plants are screaming. So I do remember this. This is one of my favorites, Plant Spirit Oracle, by Dana O'Driscoll. Thank you for riding this wave with me. Woo. Wow, gateway practice. Let me know if any of you practice that. Let me know how it goes. I will do so. I will do it as well. Part of like the dance, the singing, the transmuting of the emotions in that way will assist you in feeling like what you, how you are now is just right. So that, you can even do that first and then do the gateway. Neat, Alexis. Thank you for sharing. It's been hard to consume. It's been also difficult to meditate. Well, and consumption, right? Like when we think of shadow light, like two sides of the coin, right? Duality is always there, and both sides teach us, right? The opposite of consumption is fasting. And for sure, I have fasted from Instagram for a really long time now, which has been divine. And then today I just got the nudge to like post about my new Body Earth program on Insta. It doesn't mean that I'm going to go back to the same way that I used that media platform at all. The scrolling was definitely too much ingestion, and it wasn't working energetically for me. That is not saying anything that it is bad or if it's right or wrong. So yes, honor that in the spectrum of consumption, there is also fasting and or abstaining, like stepping away from what you are consuming. And so if you're finding it difficult to consume, then honor that you are in a fasting period, and just to ask Spirit what okay. In some of the things that we consume, right? It won't just feel like a sore belly. It may feel like an intense pulsation in the head. Even sometimes I've heard it from some people who work with me as like a buzzing. They'll just feel like a zzz, up in the mind, which wasn't there before because of their practices. And so if it comes in I'm receiving from this that if something feels hard to consume, tap into not just kind of belly, heart, and mind, these different spaces within, for they carry each, especially as consciousness expands, your mind is not just sharing ego. Your mind is also sharing consciousness, true consciousness and your access to spirit. And so in that, it's almost as if they're sharing. It's like, take a moment to, when something brings up like, oh, this is hard, or I don't want this, to then just observe those three areas one at a time, and to see where is most active. And so if, like, let's say it's like in the front of the head, on the left side. So then to work with your breath, to almost feel like I'm getting like this type of thing, right? So that to bring to start to move the response or the reaction to certain things that we consume, and to start to clear it right away, so that then because it's almost as if from some of the things that we consume, if we're doing it on a regular basis, just overconsumption, we may have a buildup. Just like we have sometimes emotional buildup. There could be a buildup of like excess information that is not resonant to your truth, to your path, and to your way, that you are accessing your truth of all that is. So I'm getting there. Yeah, there might be clearing work has been quite profound these past couple of weeks. There's been a lot of people connecting for clearing. So also I'm just guided to also share if you want any assistance in clearing out some of the mental caca that might feel just like mental gunk from some of the information or overt data, that you're welcome to connect. And that does, the difficulty in meditation, right, can be because of that, almost like that buildup. So, because in meditation, you're sitting and you're going, hi, mind. And if the mind is like, you know, in certain places, just think of like highways and paths, right? We work with breath and with movement to clear a path of and a flow of our energy so it can move easily from head to toe. And so if we're sitting and there's certain kind of like buildups or blockades, you know, that is not allowing you to move through thoughts easily, then that would be what to ask for assistance with during this full moon. And it's neat because around the question, this card came out, blue vervain, which actually has these gorgeous words: love, relationship, union. Wow. And I'm really getting caught up in these beautiful spirals of the water. These wondrous, like how, you know, one may expand into multiple spirals, depending on the different movements in the water. So, yeah, water is going to be very good. Everybody needs to up their water intake, stat. But on top of that, let's take a moment, thank water. Love has been coming up a lot. Relationships. And it's neat that it comes up in this beautiful card. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, plants. Thank you, blue vervain. As we grow, as we are growing and opening to abundance, opening to more blessings, opening to receiving more, right? And doing the gentle work to again, I just get that visual of like moving from that like little crinkled first leaf that comes out to a full leaf for the summer. There's been a lot of messages lately about hydration and having more stores of water within. And why? Because as we connect more, as you deepen your awareness to your power, or and think like that light that might be as small as like a little pilot light, right? That you've been maintaining and keeping lit. And sometimes it goes, and sometimes it like might go out, right? That light is going to expand, right? We're asking to grow, we're asking to receive more. And with receiving more, we will expand, we will feel larger, we will feel stronger. And so in that, what is required to assist and maintain that light is actually water, is the fluidity that is within our being, so that we don't short circuit, or that you don't feel like, sometimes if you've ever expanded and done a lot of practices to expand light, like mental practices and expanding consciousness, which is a lot about those type of light sparks, then, and not as much on vibration and accessing the fluidity of the energy that sometimes is denoted as the divine feminine, and more fluid kind of toroidal energy. That energy, and what I've spoken of this a lot, is that, like, if you think of the torus, that kind of like donut shape is much more, and that energy feels much more viscous and much more fluid, like water. And it's maintaining that spark that could combust you. It's keeping it safe. It's creating a safe bubble around it, just like a cell. And so with this, I get love, relationship in both ways. This is not just in an other. This is first a deep ask to as you are connecting and expanding your gifts, because it's going to happen, connecting to more spirit guides, receiving more, growing more, as this really starts to amp up as you step through this gateway. Really remember that the way of fostering this more and allowing your soul's light, your divine light, to expand and get fuller within your whole being, which will share more clarity, and all of that is going to have ample stores of water. And so that may literally mean to you to be drinking and blessing a lot more water, to share, to start to bring that. But fluidity, I'm also getting, is a suppleness to your body. So to bring back more mobility, more fluidity of movement, let yourself roll around on the floor, like get into just, allowing things to move in a different way, shake, to start to remind your body that it can carry energy in a way that will sustain and support you. That is a way that will feel more loving. And in this kind of act and practice of self-love, of maintaining your light while allowing more fluidity within, this will help. It was neat. I think one of you talked to me about this, but in 3 days, I spoke to like 3 different people, and they all shared, when we were talking about something, the word juicy. And so when I get, me with the words, and I was like, juicy, oh my goodness, I have to look it up. And so what came up with this word juicy was succulent, and like those succulent plants that have stores of water, but they do have a very hard, almost resilient outer leaf, right? So they're hard to kind of like poke and prod, and they're not going to wilt too quickly, because they have and store a lot of hydration within. So I'm getting that, like the self-love is to become like a succulent, to get juicy, and to if you are going like, what is she talking about? I'm very, very excited to announce this full moon, that I will be offering a program that's 4 weeks to connect to the elements, the energy of the elements through your body, so that you can feel stronger, safer, more protected, and access more connection and support. The first round starts June 13th. It's called Body Earth Program. I'll leave details below, and I would be honored for all that are getting the nudge to get juicy to join. And it will be offered usually every 6 to 8 weeks. So if the dates for the first round don't work out, I honor that there will be a time that we can connect and get fluid together and to sense that. But so that is actually the first thing coming up is like self-care, is really deepening the relationship to you, deepening and I think that also has been a very prevalent under thing, from innocence to the passion and pleasure to love and relationship, is almost like pamper your child inside. Like, what do they want that will, like those simple delights that just bring you a little joy, and that they are important on this path, and they are being very much they are asking to be shared with your body. You have done a lot of work. We have journeyed for a long time to get here. And meaning, like, you might be going, I'm only like 20 something. Well, guess what? Think of the amount of lifetimes you have, your spirit has moved through to get to now, to get to 2021, the full moon blood lunar eclipse. And so there has been a lot that we have moved through, and it's not saying that it's over. We continue to heal as we grow. That is the beautiful thing of cycles. But it is now we are stepping into a time of growth. So see how you can cultivate a greater sense of support for your body, and for your truth, your innocence, your child, all that you carry within. But there will be, and I'm getting with the union, there will be, for some of you, there may be new love interests. There may be new love prospects, or a deepening. Also, for some of you who may be already in relationships, a deepening of your connection. Because as you deepen your connection to who you are, then, and have more strength, right? Then you're not going, I need this person to tell me this about myself. I know this about myself, right? I feel the love. So I don't need someone to tell me they love me, and I'll become dependent on that to sense love. So know that self-love will, of course, ripple outside to your partners. You will be able to deepen your connection to partners or future potential partners from this self-work. Self-work, it will always ripple outwards, right? Because you will be able to stand like that succulent being that you are, and feel strong and capable, more connected to your power, more connected and supported by your team, by Mother Earth, by the earth, the elements, by all that is, and open, expand. And I think that's also, they're reminding of that first initial thing of like clearing and protecting home to expand your safety boundary. That's practice, so that you can start to further and further expand that out and feel safer and protected within, so that all that self-love that you're cultivating can go further and further out to more. I feel like, and I did hint to this. This came through a bit also within the new moon, of just like, get ready. We're going to be expanding your community, expanding your connections to people soon. And it may not be literally right first in person. It may be simply just deeper connections. You'll find more ways to relate. People may start to just hear about you. Yes. Yes, cultivating self in preparation for greater greater relationships, greater connections. Moonology is now coming for some clarity. They're pretty direct, these cards, the Moonology Oracle cards. And I'm starting to feel that the ride that we're on needs some now like points. Woo. As soon as I said that, one jumped out. And the one at the bottom, okay. So the one at the bottom says adjustments are required. I'll kind of keep that up because I was guided to look at that. This does not mean start spiritual bypassing and shouting out positive affirmations and shit. You know, I'm not like that. And if you don't know me, now you know. That does not mean that. When it's very clear it's time to release negativity. I'm also a Scorpio, so it's that, again, back to that other side of the coin, right? Like that is what's releasing. Know it, but your practices are acknowledging that may be where you start your practices. Like you might start raging and dancing around and going rah and stomping your feet, but then through your practice, you will move from what might feel caca into something that feels yay, and it will show that, you know, what may feel negative and what may feel positive, or what may feel good or what may feel bad, really they're all part of the same thing. They just share different sides of the coin. So okay. Sure, some of you will some of the negativity that you feel is not actually self-generated. It's from situations that you might feel out of control in, or wounds that you've been trying to heal and feel like you're still like have that person or situation on your mind. I'm getting a lot from this, actually part of this moon. I don't know if you'll be able to see it in this light, but it literally looks like there's like a hole with like, you know, a bit of like something healing, right? And what I'm also receiving from that is it's not then going like, this person of course did that to me, or this situation made me feel like shit. You can acknowledge that if that comes up, right? But we're stepping into a place that we're going to have to honor that we'll have to kind of expand and work on all the consciousness and awareness that you have worked with to just acknowledge what first might show up in responses around anything that feels negative within, and then look at it in a different way. Just start to like look at things and like give yourself at least 2 to 3 ways to look at past circumstances. You have the capacity. There is also something coming up about cutting cords for some of you. And it's neat. I was talking about binds yesterday with someone, and binds are a little different than cord cutting. Binds usually are ancestral and feel sometimes like a tightening or restriction. So as you grow, you feel just like you're limited in growth. And so you can receive some unbinding energetically. But cord cutting is a lot easier, and it is actually kind of like a severance. And usually it's because there's kind of like this line of connection to something that may be consuming, feeding off your energy, like back to that spider, or or that you are doing it. Either or. So, okay, we're supposed to do a cord cutting. Take time to breathe out. This is the instruction. If you are down, we are going to just step into a bit of a cutting of cords with some light language and assistance from my spiritual team. Hence the adjustment required. So Moonology, at the end of this oracle, there is actually a cord cutting. Hence why I was saying, like, bindings are a bit more difficult. I would require a private session and a clearing session to work through that, because they are more ancestral. But cords cords we can work through on YouTube. So if you are open to it, just sharing your consent with your heart, your spirit, and simply, if you're not open to it, you can just log off at this time. And I'm grateful to have had you and worked with you for this beautiful reading today. Taking and really focusing your breath out if you choose to stay. And honor if, as you inhale and breathe in, that you're acknowledging that you're breathing in with the assistance. You're drawing fluid, you're drawing soil, you're drawing connection from the earth up through your body, up through the channels that are open. Acknowledging where the breath may stop in certain points within your body, knowing that those might be stuck points or they might be cords. And then when you exhale, also same thing, except if you feel blocks in certain areas, and no need to push through the block. Just honor when your breath stops, and then breathe into that point. So you're finding some certain points within that may show up, and just honoring that your focal point of where you will draw your breath in and out from may be different. And in this breath, as you share your consent to the earth, you're sharing also your consent to spirit, to sever what can simply be severed now, and to honor that all clearings, all cuttings, cut what is ready to be cleared, what you are ready to release, the things that you hold on to, the things that you still need some work to uproot or to gently extricate will not be cut. And so in that way, you know that you will not have a gaping wound to deal with after a cord cutting. This is something to allow you to feel clear and to move through this gateway with more ease. I've already called in my spirit team prior to this session, but I'm also guided now to also call in and welcome my original clan, as well, to assist. Allow your palms to face up and to soften your limbs. There are some chords that are showing up in those who are listening now, as well as on replay for this session, that they're sharing may feel actually like within the mind or within the sides of the head. So to just make sure in this set, as you receive this assistance, that to not squint or to feel like you're trying to keep them in or like pull them back in towards you. Allow anything that might feel like it is stretching out, almost like limbs of a roots or branches of a tree, to just allow out. Kiki There are some additional areas that you may feel certain tensions in. Honor them, because there are, for some other beings that are listening, cords in other areas that are wishing and ready to be released. Hi, go 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 ta ta cha cha sa ta ta go 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 sa sa ta. Hi, go 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 ta ta cha cha sa sa ta ke ta ta to to go sa ta ka cha. Hi, go 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 to 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 go to to che ka sa ta 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 te te ta cha ka to to sa ta cha. Hi ki sa. Hi go sa ta ke te 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 go ta te she ke se. Ha to kwa te che sa ka te go sa. Ha te te ke che a to wa go sa. Saying to even like open your arms now by this point, just to feel like that even things, where between torso and the arms and the back, just that you're now clearly consenting, sharing your consent to release what is no longer needed, that may have just felt like it was limiting you or sticking you in place. Who su you do you go do you go do you go do you do you do you go you do you go do you do go do you you do you do go Kakuto kasito kashita hoka. Kasito to wakuata. Hiukuata yokuto kakasuta. Ita kuati su kuata ndu eke su ite kuta kuata kuate ku 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 ku. Deep exhales. Even allow your body to move. You're welcome to listen to this clearing as many times as needed during this gateway. But then to allow yourself after to celebrate, to move in some way, to move and care, like all the things that was shared in this Oracle session. You know, that self-care, continue to do that. Savor this evening, savor this week. We are moving into some very potent times. And to close this off, drink lots of water too, please, after any type of sound work. Yeah. So this is very much also going with this. This has come up a lot actually in the couple Oracle sessions in the past months. And each time it carries different meaning. What I'm receiving as we grow, some of you may also shift even literal sexuality, shift and open your connection in a new way to you, as well as then that may open and connect in a new way to others, other beings. Don't let it be so rigid. There are ways, and I'm receiving that some have certain kind of cords that bind from previous lovers, not just necessarily in this lifetime, like previous contracts deep in times in the past. And a lot of past lives when people got married or got into a relationship, it was a bond. There was actual, in the rituals and ceremonies that they did, they were literally binding each other to each other. So I'm receiving that some of those things are unraveling within this cycle, within full to new moon, within your healing practices and that. So if things start to shift in your current relationship with self, as well as with others, honor that it is because it's an unraveling that has been moving through many timelines. And to share gratitude if you're with a partner, share gratitude for them, honoring that as you grow, the relationship may shift and change, needs may change, and to foster that, back to that this and that, but seeing those three perspectives, to be able to kind of like, when you share and communicate of what might feel current, what might feel now, what you are attracted to, what you wish to do sexually, what you wish to do within relationships and connections, let yourself kind of look at it like that, to kind of go, is this coming up because I'm healing, because I'm growing? Is this coming up as shadow? Is this coming up as more of me? And yes, there is some winds of change that are moving through how we view and connect to self as well as others on this physical plane. And I'm excited to see where it goes. I find this very neat as a closing card. You know, sometimes it will come up as an opening card to share some journeys and really take a look. It's a very fine light, so it's hard to kind of see the gentleness of the movements, right? And of course, like we see hearts in there and stuff like that, but the energies, everyone is shifting right now. You know, even those that haven't been on this on walking a more conscious path for a long time, there's a lot of shifts going on in the collective. And so with that, there's going to be many different paces and many different traffic jams that we may encounter. And hence, as we build this kind of succulence and this deeper resilience of ourself to move through as we receive and open to receive more, right? There's going to be a deep honoring of those that you encounter and to be gentle. I like not to, and I know this sounds weird, okay? But like not to jump into people's bones at this point in time. You know, it's like, because I know some of us have been like isolation nation. And so touch, there's a deep craving for touch right now. So touch yourself. And it doesn't always have to be sexual. Like just get into the habit of really fostering that touch, seeing what feels nice in the body. And if you are living with a partner or already in relations or beginning a new relations with someone, to honor fluctuations in the desire for connection, and know that it is because we are awakening deeper to an intrinsic connection that we all carry. And if you're doing that, they're doing that too, and it may be in a different pace. A lot of things are unraveling right now from previous times, just from sleep, just in dreams, just from breathing, just from moving. You know, everything has amped up. Everything has amped up. And so the slower pace of things being received, you know, and working through and going through that has been this year, you might find that it amps up. So that does not mean then that you have to amp up, like go, right, into things. Let yourself still honor the pace that feels right for you, and breathe and acclimate to find your ground in the shift of speed around. And there's just, there's just so many opportunities that are budding. I'm seeing lots of buds. And I know, even as you can see, there's already leaves on trees, but like I'm seeing the beautiful thing, like there might be leaves on that tree, but there's different growing cycles for different trees. And so some trees might still have little baby leaves and some trees might just be budding now. So that's what I mean. Like even though it's flowering tree season and spring, there is a different pace for even the trees that have been around forever. So it's like, honor what might feel like it's budding, honor what might feel like it's in the flowering phase, right? That is blooming and expanding. And then honor also what is, what you are becoming within, and really enjoy connecting to the resilient leaves and your succulent self. As you sense that power increase. So there will be kind of multiple phases within as well as outside of self. Any questions? Just checking in as well. I'm feeling very content with that. There's a bit of an energy of like more, and it's neat. Listen, just keep listening to spirit, to that softer whisper, that softer voice within. Foster that relationship in these weeks that are coming, and open to receive what you are ready to receive, and honor that if there are blips and dips and things, you're welcome to further clearing and healing. And that's the beauty of it, is that we can still receive the things that we are ready for as we do the work and heal around the things that we don't feel ready to receive yet. So honor the bud, the flower, and the leaf, the different phases of what you are ready to receive within. And with that, my throat is, as you can feel, it's done. But I'm not receiving a message yet about that. So maybe that will come up in new moon. But something's coming. More communication, more ways to communicate. Thank you. Thank you all for sharing this oracle session. It was so lovely to sit with all of you lovely beings. And for those also who watch on replay, I feel you. I thank you. And when I put this up, I will list where the cord cutting starts if you wish to replay it, so that you can just click on that exact timestamp. And I would be honored to share with you more of the Body Earth program that I've been working with Earth Mother, and understanding more of the energy of the elements within our body. If you are so guided to, I will leave a link as well for that. May we continue deepening and expanding our connection to all that we are and to all that is. So much love. Take care.